You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage and also your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On Patriots is a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Subscribe or follow for free wherever you get your podcasts to ensure that you get the latest episode as soon as it's available. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. So reach out to me and let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATENFL. While you're out there showing some social media love to Locked On Patriots, please follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And of course, today's episode brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code, all lowercase, LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. And Pats fans, as you can see, it is always one of the most exciting times for Locked On Patriots to welcome in my good friend, because as you know, the finances of your New England Patriots, always a hot topic here in Foxborough. And when it comes to the Patriots' bottom line, it's time to talk business. When you want to talk business and you need the definitive word on anything and everything related to the Patriots salary cap, who else do you go to? You seek the wisdom, the counsel of the great and powerful Wizard of Benzan. That's right, folks. You know him as the Pats Cap. He is my good friend, Miguel Benzan, and it's always my honor to bring you back to the show, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to Locked On Patriots.
Oh, Mike, you do so much wonders for my ego. I love the intro.
It's all true. It's all true.
I really do. I really do. I think I just go on the show just for the intro.
I'll take it. Okay. We take the wisdom and counsel, and that's always good.
I do, folks. You know, I like to drop podcast only tidbits. I swear, I want you guys to count how many times I say something that you did not hear from the media. I bet you it's going to be over two hands worth today.
It could be. And, you know, Miguel always loves to set the record straight here on Locked On Patriots. We're going to give him every opportunity. You know what? Miguel may even set me straight here on Locked On Patriots. So please, folks, stay locked in. And we're even going to put Miguel on the hot seat to close the show today and ask him for his Patriots Commanders prediction, because after all, there is a game to be played in Foxborough this week. We're going to be talking all about it. But Miguel, first things first, bottom line first, your New England Patriots, according to your calculations, show that they have $2,614,916 in available salary cap space. Now, we are only a few days removed from the trade deadline. A lot of people in New England believing that Josh Uche, Kyle Duggar, Michael Onwenu, before he got hurt, Kendrick Bourne, maybe even Mike Gesicki, Hunter Henry. We heard all kinds of names being bandied about that could possibly be on the trade block. The New England Patriots stood pat. They did not trade them away. So now the discussion shifts naturally to, if the Patriots kept them, who are they going to try to lock up here long term? You're the guy to talk to on this subject. When you look at the New England Patriots finances right now, what they need to do for the remainder of the season and the potential free agents that they have at the end of the year, how do the Patriots stand right now, and what does it mean for the upcoming offseason?
Okay, Mike, they have about, let's just keep round numbers just to keep it simple. They have right around $2.6 million in cap space. That's before they filled the open spot that was caused by the Patriots placing Calvin Anderson on IR. All right.
Right.
They also have players who are going to earn, not likely to be earned after roster bonuses. All right. For example, Ty Montgomery has been earning $20,000. His cap number has gone up $20,000 each week after the week 2, because of that. And then you have the practice squad elevations. My guess, Mike, that the Patriots will end the season around $1.2, $1 million. Okay, in cap space between the players earning, not likely to be earned active roster bonuses, and practice squad elevations. And I should say this for the folks who hear me for the first time about the non-likely to be active roster bonuses. That's the only incentive that if a player earns during the season that hits the cap that year. All other not likely to be earned incentives hit the cap the following year. All right. The Patriots are in good shape to end for the season. They are scheduled right now. My projection, if we could bring that up, Mike. Okay, folks, this is my projection as of now. And if you follow me on Twitter, and you really, hopefully you are at PatsCap, on Monday, I update this number. All right. Basically, I have them projected with $71.5 million in cap space. Folks, I should say one of the reasons my number is different from the other sites is I'm basically saying that I know for a fact each year and every year, right after the season end, the Patriots are going to sign, if not all, but close to all of their practice squad players for deals for the 2024 season. All right. So I'm going to have them. I have them around 55 players on contracted. All right. That's my projections. Right now, the other sites probably have 43 or 44 players on the Patriots salary cap. So that's one reason my number is different. All right. Plus, you'll see that I count incentives. So that's my number is a different from the other ones. And I also do not use the over the cap and the other site use $256 million for the league cap number. I use 250 because that's what I've been hearing that teams have been using. They have a range from 245 to 250. I'm using the high number. We will get the first official projection of the 2024 league number in December if the pass holds. All right. With $71.5 million in cap space, this should be around the top 10, if not the top 5, depending on what the other teams would do with their practice squad players, and depending on how many players other teams give RFA tenders, franchise SAS tenders. All right. They have $71.5 million. They could do anything they want next year. All right. In terms of the cap, they really can. They have that kind of flexibility, especially since the Patriots like to structure deals with a low cap number in the first year. All right. So if they sign a player, let's just use round numbers, to a 3-year, $30 million deal, a $10 million average. Doesn't mean in 2024 his cap number will be $10 million. It's more likely to be $5 million. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Mike, they have the cap space to do it next year. As far as extending someone, if they want to send someone who's going to cost a lot of money, it'd be nice to do it in the next couple of weeks. And the reason is because once you pay a player his weekly salary, you then cannot convert it into a signing bonus. Right. For example, Kyle Duggar and Michael Onwenu are making more than a minimum for players with 3 credited seasons.
Right.
So if you were to reach an extension with them, Mike, you could lower their salary to the minimum and then convert the remaining salary into a signing bonus. But each week, you have how much you can save with doing that goes down. All right. From past history, ever since the 2011 CBA, the Patriots have not ever extended someone who on a rookie deal in the months of September, October, November. They've done one time in December. All right. I think it's more likely, folks, if it's going to be a player who's going to get extended, it's going to be someone who you can sign to a low deal. Someone like maybe an Anthony Jennings or a Miles Bryant, or something on that level. Somebody's not going to get a $10 million a year deal, something like that, who's going to get like maybe $2 to $4 million. Unless the Patriots go back to what they used to do way back in the day. As folks, I've been covering the Patriots salary cap since 2000s, the early 2000s. Back in the day, they would structure deals with a signing bonus in the first year and an option bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So they could give someone, like, if they want to do it in season with Cal Duggar, they can give them a small signing bonus this year and a large option bonus in 2024. You'll see in my projections, Mike, we'll get to those for Cal Duggar and Michael. I don't do that. I think they will not reach an extension with those two players during the season, but I do think they will reach extensions with them next season. Hopefully that answers your question.
Well, that's definitely good news for our listeners. I know a lot of our listeners and a lot of Patriots fans out there, whether you're first-time listeners to Locked On Patriots tuning in for Miguel's Wisdom and Counsel, or you're an everydayer here on Locked On Patriots. I know a lot of you are anxious to have Kyle Duggar and Michael Onwenu in Patriots uniforms for a good long time. Miguel is going to outline exactly what that will take, what those deals might look like, and even give a little insight as to the likelihood of either one or both getting done. We're going to talk about both Duggar, Onwenu, and so much more when it comes to the Patriots salary cap when we continue right here on the Locked On Patriots podcast, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, our partners over at eBay Motors have teamed up with Locked On Fantasy Football host Vinny Iyer to bring you some of the best fantasy picks each week, all season long. Whether you're prepping for a draft or scouting the waiver wire, every week we're going to provide you players that are guaranteed to fit on your roster. So let's see who Vinny's picked out for us on this week's eBay's Guaranteed Fit Fantasy Picks of the Week. Browns running back Kareem Hunt has come back to the team and has been leaned on again with Nick Chubb injured for the long term. The Browns need to win with the running game and defense, now with quarterback issues, and Hunt draws a fantastic matchup to run well in Week 9. The Browns are at home against the Arizona Cardinals' wilting defense and should be in either a positive or even game script to make sure that they can stick with running Hunt. Hunt has a good chance to put together a big game leading the Cleveland committee. Folks, Vinny Iyer from Locked On Fantasy Football is going to help you win your fantasy championship. And eBay Motors knows a championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. It's the same thing with your vehicle. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you can make sure your ride stays running smoothly. Whether you need brake kits, LED headlights, a new roof rack, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. Just enter your vehicle's make, model, and year into their My Garage section and find the parts that fit. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus, at these prices, you're burning rubber and not cash. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. That's ebaymotors.com. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots. I am joined by the esteemed Pats Cap himself, my good friend Miguel Benzan, the salary cap top gun. And I call him that, folks, because there is no equal to this man. He is the best of the best. And Miguel already bringing us wisdom and counsel that you can only find here on Locked On Patriots because it's only found within him. Miguel, in the previous segment, we talked a lot about, or I should say you talked a lot about what the Patriots might do, how much you project them to have for 2024, and how much they're going to end the 2023 season with, talking about incentives and things that essentially you track right down to the penny that so many national sites, so many local sites do not track down to that level. That's why we trust you implicitly. I know you've been working overtime to try to give Patriots fans a little insight as to what a deal might look like for a Kyle Duggar or for a Michael Onwenu, knowing that there is a premium that is placed on players such as Onwenu, as especially on the offensive line. You know about big-time contracts being given to offensive linemen each and every year. Kyle Duggar as a safety, his knowledge of the Patriots system, his knowledge of defensive systems in general, make him a hot commodity on the open market. You took the time recently to outline what these deals may look like. Floor is yours, as always, my friend, when you join us here on Locked On Patriots. Give us a little insight as to what you think the Patriots might be looking at and what a deal may look like for either one of these players or even both.
For Michael Onwenu, he should be following what Elton Jenkins got from the Packers. Elton Jenkins is a versatile offensive lineman. He plays on the right. He plays on the right guard, but he has a versatility for both guard and tackle. So in his deal, and he's got incentives that pay him for the Pro Bowl. But if he makes a Pro, but he has incentives that pays him more money if he makes a Pro Bowl as a tackle, and if he makes it to an All Pro as a tackle, he gets paid more money. So in my deal, my proposed deal for Michael Onwenu, that's what I do. All right, I propose to make Michael Onwenu the third highest right guard in the league. But if he plays at tackle, he's still going to be in the top 10. But if he makes it to the Pro Bowl or the All Pro at the tackle, he's going to get more money. That takes him up to the top 5. All right. He doesn't, the top of the left tackle market is like $25 million. Top of the guards and the right tackle is about $20 million. Right. All right. So I'm proposing saying that's a $17 million deal. That's going to put him in the top 10. Remember, folks, you're going to say, wow, that's a lot of money. All right. Cap is going up a lot next year. I mean, even if I use 20, the cap right now, the league cap is $224.8 million. Even if you use 250, all right, and I know over the cap uses 256. If I use my 250, that's a close to $26 million increase. All right. We will, so the cap is going up, and like the teams we should adjust what we expect players to get paid. All right. So Mike, we could bring up Michael Onwenu. I think I have a tab on the spreadsheet just for him.
You do? Right here.
Okay. All right. So folks, you can see it here, Dale. And I have to explain something. You'll see the active roster bonus amount is different for 2024 than it is for the rest of the years. That's because he was inactive for one game this year. So he's going to have, I'm going to presume that he's going to be active for the rest of the games this year. So he's going to have 16 likely to be earned active roster bonuses and 1 not likely active roster bonuses. Okay, that's why the difference. Okay, so I propose that he's going to get in the first year of the deal $26 million in cash. All right, a $19.6 million signing bonus. All right, a $5.38 million salary, and then he can earn up to $1.02 million in active roster bonuses. I guarantee his salary in the first 2 years. All right. So he knows he's going to be with the team for that long. All right. And I believe that this would help give the Patriots continuity at a key offensive line position. All right. Mike, guess how many players? I think I said this on Twitter, so you might remember this. How many right tackles have Mac Jones played with?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're getting up into a pretty substantial number right now. I mean, especially
10,
just this year.
10. You know how it took a while. He had played with 10 different players started at the right tackle position already in less than 3 seasons. So and they have let's just go out and you sign Michael. You sign him. You have him at right tackle. You have Sidney Sow at right guard. You have David and then Jake Andrews at center. You have Cole Strange at left guard. You draft a left tackle in the first round next year. You have that's your offensive line. You have some continuity there for the future. If it's from your quarterback, if it's Mac Jones or someone else. All right. Of course, I don't think if you're going to replace Mac Jones by drafting a quarterback in the first round, then you're gonna probably have to get the left tackle in the second round.
Right.
Okay. And you'll notice I basically copied what the Packers did for incentives. These incentives would be $250,000 for Pro Bowl, but if he makes the Pro Bowl at the tackle position, it's $750,000. If he makes the All Pro team at a tackle position, it's $1 million. All right. And that's actually, and the funny thing is, but Elton Jenkins, all right, his deal kind of worked off of Sebastian Vollmer's deal back in the day. So everything turns back to the Patriots.
It truly does. And especially with
I think
Onwenu,
so.
we took.
And I think this deal, if I was Michael Onwenu, would I take this deal? I think it's a fair deal. And I try to create, when I create these deals, I try to create deals I think that both sides would like, but I don't think it's too team friendly. Nor I do that. I think it's too player friendly. All right. I think this is the range that he should be looking at, could be looking at. I could, this is a little less, the $17 million is a little less than the offensive, the franchise tag for offensive linemen, but I don't think Mike, I go back and forth of they're gonna tag him. Once he started playing games at right guard, I said they're not gonna tag him again. All right, and then he had the injury. But if he finishes the season strong, I could, and they can't reach a deal. I could see the Patriots tagging him. I think it's far more likely if they're going to tag a player, it'd be Kyle Duggar simply because he's the older player.
Yeah, that's a good point. And especially with Onwenu talking to reporters earlier this week, and he told us and said, look, I kind of pushed a little bit just as they kind of gave me the option of a move to right tackle, because it definitely increases his value. The opportunity for him to go out there and show that he can play anywhere on the right side. Very adept at being able to play both positions. Really, I think at home at right guard, that was his natural position when he was at Michigan. But at the same time, plays right tackle very, very well. So the fact that he now has that versatility and that ability to kind of use as a marketing tool this year, something very, very interesting to keep an eye on, folks. This is fascinating stuff, Miguel.
Thank you. All right. And then we'll just talk about Kyle Duggar's deal. All right, if you want. I had a difficult time finding like a comp for him because he's such an older player. He's gonna be 28 years old on March 13th. All right, I didn't. So when I use these days, when I use the age, they're as the player's age as of March 13th, because that's the start of the free agency. All right, he's an older player. He should probably realize that this may be his only chance to get true big money in the NFL. So I see that he should, but if he does want a second deal, he should take a shorter deal this year.
Right.
All right. So that's why I went with 3 years as opposed with 4 years with Michael Onwenu. All right. Paid him $13.5 million, puts him in the top 10. All right. He does get a lot of cash up front. All right. And he's definitely gonna get he's gonna get close to $30 million over the first 2 years of the deal. So that's a lot of cash, Mike.
Yeah, it is.
I think I'll be surprised, Mike, if he were to become a free agent and got a deal that's like $16 or $17 million just because of his age. I think his age is gonna hurt him. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I asked someone if they had a guess for the franchise tag number for a safety. So I don't have a good number for that yet. All right. I wouldn't be surprised if they can't reach a deal when they Patriots decide to tag him and then try to draft safeties to replace him going forward. I don't know. We'll see. It's a little, in my opinion, like I'm not expecting the Patriots to do anything with him this deal this year. But I expect his deal to get done if he doesn't get tagged. I'm gonna say March 12th. So our boy Shai Sullivan will be going crazy. I love you, Shai. All right.
He will be, no question.
Yeah, because he's one of the more impatient followers of mine, I guess. So Mike, let's just talk about. I guess I just put this in mind. Let's talk about the 2020 draft. All right. I mean, because now one of the things I wanted to set the record straight. You keep on hearing about, the Patriots haven't extended any draft picks yet. I'm like, from 2020. The last guy, Phil Perry says the last time they extended a player was Jake Bailey from 2019 draft. Well, I mean, Mike, if you could bring up the 2020 draft slide. Okay, folks, I asked someone how many draft picks from the 2020 draft have been extended so far. Less than 6%. Less than 6%.
Wow.
And you can see on this list, a good number of them are quarterbacks. Of course, they're going to get extended early.
Right.
All right. The sixth, and the funny thing is, the 6th round pick is a long snapper. The 7th round pick, Tyler Bass is a kicker. All right. So people like to complain about the Patriots and the special teams. Yet, 2 of the extensions are on special teams. 5th, I'm saying, so I don't get this obsession or focus on the Patriots not extending one of their 2020 draft picks when the rest of the NFL hasn't extended. Most of the NFL has extended their players. And we notice all these plays. How many of these trades we had on the trade deadline, how many of them were for players who were drafted in 2020? Just 3. So if your complaint is, well, we're not going to get a comp pick for him, so we should have traded him. All right?
Yeah.
Most of the NFL did the same thing as the Patriots. They did not trade their 2020 draft picks.
That's a good point.
All right. And now I'm just going to segue into the comp picks. All right. Before the trade deadline, I never heard so many people tell the Patriots what they should do from the media. They should get, and I'm hearing values for especially Josh Uche, and that they could get a third or 2nd round pick for Josh Uche. To sign a deal that puts you in a 3rd round pick, how many players, top percent of the players in the NFL do you think you got to get? Top 5. Top 5. Do you think that Josh Uche is a top 5% player in the NFL?
I love Josh. I would love to be able to say yes, but no, I can't say that. You can't.
Okay.
Anyone who's being objective can't really say that. It's tough to do that. And that's tough for me because I do love Josh.
Okay. Top 5%. To get a 4th round pick, top 10%.
Yeah.
But we're hearing before the draft what the Patriots should do. They try to get a 2nd or 3rd for him. Do those beat writers? Let's ask them. We should ask them those questions. Do you think Josh Uche is in the top 5% of the NFL players? Would you give him that deal? Okay.
Kind of puts things in a different perspective. It really does.
Top 5%, Mike. And if the argument is you should just get draft picks, all right, we should have more assets, then let's be consistent, all right? Because when the Patriots trade down, they get criticized.
All right.
Okay? So then months later, you want them to get more draft picks, and you want to have more shots at getting the draft pick right. Okay? Yeah. So in April, you criticize the Patriots' strategy of trading down. Months later, you criticize them for not acquiring more assets. Be consistent in your criticism, folks. All right. That's all I'm asking. I'm not. You don't have to be. I'm a fan. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying for the media, be consistent in your position.
Yeah, it does. It puts things in a whole different light, because the chatter that was going on before the trade deadline, like you said, was how much can you get in return for players that are likely to walk. Most people believe that Josh Uche will probably walk in free agency, that there is a team out there that's willing to give him what he's looking for, and it probably won't be the Patriots. You've outlined very clearly what a deal for Kyle Duggar and what a deal for Michael Onwenu are, I think. And at least according to, things that I've heard and, people in circles that I've run with, they are seen as a little bit more cornerstone type material for the Patriots building and moving forward than a Josh Uche. And that's not to say that Uche is not someone that they value, because obviously if they didn't value him and they were just trying to get a piece on a dollar, they probably would have moved him. But at the same time, they also realize the value there. And if you're not going to get fair compensation in return, it can send a negative message and it can have a detrimental effect on your roster just to make a deal to make a deal. So in that regard, when you put things in a financial perspective, it really does paint a whole new picture when it comes to what the Patriots did this week, folks. So Miguel, excellent insight, and I think it's definitely an eye-opener for us all, including myself. Locked On listeners, when it comes to game day, the only thing just as important as cheering on your favorite team is making sure that your game day table is well stocked. Why root for your team on an empty stomach? Order on DoorDash and save on all of your favorite football watch party favorites. All of your favorite restaurants and stores, from retail to grocery. Guess what, folks? They're on the app, so you can shop everything you need to get game day ready. You can even get prepared before game day. Stock up on your favorite appetizers, order all of your tailgate gear right on DoorDash, and then get ready to watch your team win. After all, Patriots fans, nothing says game day like some wings, am I right? Well, now you can enjoy the hickory smoked wings in any of their 14 delicious sauce flavors from Bites at Patriots Place. That's right. It's just like a piece of Gillette Stadium delivered right to your door just in time for kickoff with DoorDash. So act now, and you can get 50% off up to a $10 value when you spend $15 or more on your first order. That's when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code LOCKED23. So don't delay, do it today. And don't forget to use the code LOCKED23, LOCKED23, for 50% off up to a $10 value on your first order when you download the DoorDash app and spend $15 or more. Subject to change, terms apply.
Okay, so let's go. And the big other thing we can hear is that the Patriots have, because the Patriots have so much cap space, there's no chance they'll get comp picks. All right, Mike, bring up the 2018 comp worksheet. Folks, hopefully you guys have good memories. In 2017, the Patriots had a lot of cap space. In 2018, they end up getting a 4th-round pick for Jabal Sheard. Because there's a limit on how many draft comp picks there are, 32, they did not get a comp pick for LeGarrette Blount, all right? Because there was 32 given, and he was, I think, 35th in line, all right? So the Patriots had a ton of cap space in 2017 and still got comp picks in 2018, all right? So this notion that the Patriots will not get comp picks is not supported by history. It's not opinion. It's not my opinion. I'm showing you in black and white. It is fact, history. All right? So that's all I got to say. Because I'm tired. I'm like literally, Mike, it took me, I remember the 2000, because this is what I do. All right? But it didn't take me that long to find this.
Right.
To remember this. All right. And to say this, they can't do it, is just you put a beat writer pushing a narrative, pushing this story. All right. I have not said this on Twitter because I don't have the energy, folks, to go back and forth with the beat writers anymore. All right. I got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, so I'm not gonna get in a beef with them anymore. I'm only gonna set the record straight on Mike's podcast.
And we always appreciate having you here, and definitely. And I mean, you definitely helped to set me straight as well. I mean, it's a situation where you do look at value, and naturally narratives have to be pushed in the media, and there are things that need to be reported. But when you come on and you lend that wisdom and counsel that shows the financial backing behind it, like I said before, especially when it comes to compensatory picks, and like you just did with the 2018 comparison, which was absolutely eye-opening. Again, folks, it really does put things in a different perspective as to why the Patriots choose to do business the way they choose to. It baffles people an awful lot, but when you take a look at the reasoning behind it, it starts to make more sense. And I think Miguel's laid that out perfectly here today. And again, this has been a huge eye-opening measure for me. That's why I love having you on, my friend. You take these erroneous cap reports out there and you either confirm them or debunk them. And I always love giving you the opportunity to set the record straight. Before we transition into our final question today, is there any other cap myths out there that are still kind of burrowing under your nails right now?
Okay, let's just go to the 2024 FAs.
Absolutely.
Right? Just to further talk about the comp picks. Here's my prediction of what's going to happen. All right. I think I have 8 players leaving. All right. The way the compact. So if the Patriots have 8 leave, they sign 5. They might get 2 or 3 compacts that way, depending on the level of the deals. All right. That's how it works. That's how it works, folks. So look at who I'm look who I think is gonna leave. I don't think there's any chance that I think Will Greer's gonna leave because I think he's gonna go someplace else. All right, Riley, he's definitely going.
Right.
Josh Uche, I think he's gonna be a player that's gonna come back to the Patriots because I think he's gonna get overpaid. And why did I say that? Because right now he plays about 35% of the snaps. If he gets a big money deal, like say he gets a $17 million deal, all right, I think his new team wants him to play 60% of the snaps.
Right.
If you pay a player that kind of money, you're gonna want him to play most of the snaps. All right. And I doubt he's gonna go to a team that has a lot of playing time incentives with the Patriots. All right.
Right.
So I think he's gonna get the money. Boom. I think he's better off being a role player. But if he's going to get the big money deal, all right, I think that team's going to ask him to play 60 or 50. And I don't know if he can do what he does. They're taking a leap of faith that he can do what he does, going from 30 to 35 to 60 65.
Yeah,
all right?
That's a very good point. And I think a point that not a lot of people, and I have seen some of my colleagues in the media point this out, so I'm far from being the only one, but Murph and I talked about something very similar earlier this week. Josh Uche is a guy, folks, that is not an every down linebacker. He hasn't proved that yet to the New England Patriots. They're still in situational packages, which is where they deploy him. So if he's going to get that big money deal, like Miguel said, it's going to be off of reputation and potential rather than what's on his actual resume. That factors in so much into the financials here. That is an excellent point, Miguel. Thank you so much for making that.
Thank you. So I got 8 players leaving. So all I got to do is just sign less than 8 CVAs, and they got to CVAs. I mean, compulsory free agent. All right, I should not use acronyms. Sorry, without explaining them. They sign less than 8. They should be in the running to get them. All right, depends. Right. I don't know. We don't know who's going to sign what. But they could sign a big one. Especially if they hope they would want Trent Brown to sign a big one, a big deal. They want Josh Uche to sign a big one. Then you could sign a couple of players and still maybe get a fourth round pick. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I wish. I got nothing else to say. They keep on hearing they have a lot of free agents. All right.
Yeah.
And what they should do is, I was like, what if they sign some of these players? Is anybody really complain if they resign Kyle Duggar or a Hunter Henry or Kendrick Bourne? You know what I'm saying? Or Michael. Mike, it's been. I know it has been a bad season for the Patriots, but goodness gracious. Every time that it seems like every chance the media has to take a shot at Bill, they do it.
And I think you can see from the list of players that the Patriots have a decision to make at the end of this season. The cupboard is not completely bare there, folks. There are cornerstones to build around.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Daniels of Mass Live had a really good piece out on Friday morning about 6 young cornerstones to build around. But there are a lot of guys on this list as well that the Patriots can continue to keep in the mix and make sure that when they're moving forward, they have savvy veterans, guys that are capable of leading, like a Hunter Henry and a Kendrick Bourne. Obviously, we've talked about Duggar and Onwenu a lot on this, but I noticed you have guys like Anthony Jennings staying. Farrell Brown, I think, is a guy people would love to see hang around. So, folks, drop us a line in the comments section below. Let us know what you think of Miguel's projection here, because I think this is fascinating. And the amount of snaps that they play, I really think does factor in an awful lot into what the Patriots value for these players going forward. Going to be an interesting offseason. Obviously, a lot of eyes are on the offseason right now, Miguel, because it doesn't look like this season is going to produce a playoff berth. So we're looking forward to it next year. And that does transition me quite nicely into my final question for you today, my friend. And there is a game to be played on Sunday. The Patriots and the Washington Commanders. 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Gillette Stadium. It always is interesting. Folks, the Pats are at 2-6. This game could have long-term implications on the roster. Our good friends over at FanDuel have the Pats as 2.5-point favorites at home. Miguel, would you like to offer a game prediction on this week's matchup with the Patriots and the Commanders?
Mike, I'm an optimist. All right. And I also and I'm also in a survival pool. All right. In which the tiebreaker is the amount of points of the victory. All right. Oh, and there's a lot of close games, folks, this week. If I was truly brave, I would pick the Patriots because I have this feeling, Mike, especially since they traded away Sweat and Young, that Mac will have time.
Yeah.
I think he is going to, I say 31-17 Patriots. Mike, if they end up beating the Commanders by that much and they have the biggest margin of victory Sunday, I'm gonna be mad at myself because I'm going with the Saints in my survival pool. And I just want to say one more thing.
Sure.
In the previous slide, I have Terez Hall leaving, and why is that? Even though he's injured, his name is not on the Patriots press releases. It's not even showing up on the injured reserves on their website. And past history says when they do that, when they ghost a player who's on IR, all right, that player does not get invited back the following season.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and so I just wanted that's one more tidbit I wanted to put out to people that you will not. Terez Hall is on the Patriots IR list, but he does not show up on Patriots.com. Therefore, we can expect on March 13th on the list of free agents, they will say that he was not given an ERFA tender. I will go out on a limb and make that prediction now.
Very interesting.
They've never done that. They've never. Once they've ghosted a player on IR, a young player, all right, that player is not coming back, and that's one of the reasons I don't believe in a Foxborough flu. Folks, it really does not do you well to go on in IR in the first year of especially when you're a borderline bubble player, a roster bubble player. You don't come back.
It's true, and that is a good nugget, and we appreciate that nugget. We also appreciate your game prediction. We're sort of like-minded. I predicted a 24-17 victory for the New England Patriots. I think that they definitely can exploit the middle area of the field. Mac's going to have the time over the weekend, and maybe it may come down to Chad Ryland kicking a couple of field goals. We did check yeah, absolutely. And Pharaoh Brown with a back injury right now, folks, listed as questionable as of the time Miguel and I are recording this. So keep a sharp eye on Pharaoh's status. But if he's there, definitely look for him with the chunk play. And, of course, not going to be really, I think, a big weather factor, Miguel. We talked about that earlier. It's going to be a little bit of cloud cover in Foxborough, but still a pleasant day. 2 to 6 miles per hour on average for the wind, gusts up to 14 miles per hour. So good conditions for the New England Patriots, and hopefully they can put it together and get back in the win column. But one of the things we absolutely always love, win, lose, or draw, is getting a chance to share the wisdom and counsel of Miguel Benzan with all of you Locked On Everydayers, all of you casual listeners, and all of you first-timers, because the great one never disappoints. When his wisdom and counsel graces the airwaves here on Locked On Patriots, folks, I could not be more honored or more humble, because he is not only my good friend, but he is also the best cat man in the business. But the work this man does for Habitat for Humanity in the Hartford area is inspiring. It's heartwarming. And to me, that really is the legacy that this man has. And I'm honored to be your friend and honored to be your colleague. Folks, please follow Miguel at PatsCap on Twitter. I call him the Top Gun. He is the Top Gun. The plaque for the alternates does not exist, because the man has no equal. Before I let you go today, my friend, any parting words of wisdom for our adoring public here on Locked On Patriots?
Just want to wish everyone a happy holiday season.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And my hearts to those out who were affected by the shooting in May.
Absolutely. It's been a sobering week here in New England. Keep all those affected by the Lewiston tragedy in our hearts, in our thoughts, in our prayers. And we continue to wish them the absolute best as they now move forward and they continue the healing process. And it's a long healing process, folks. But even if you're taking time out of your day to watch the New England Patriots, to watch any of the various Patriots podcasts on so many different platforms, if you do choose Locked On Patriots as a part of your daily Patriots coverage, we thank you. And we hope we can provide you with a little bit of distraction and maybe even a little bit of joy for at least a couple of minutes each and every week. So on behalf of my good friend, the Pats cap himself, Miguel Benzan, I am Mike Debate, reminding you all to stay safe and to stay well and to be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you back here again on Monday on Locked On Patriots when Murph and I break it all down, including your mailbag questions. So get those in. Have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy the game on Sunday.